everyone, Bernie here from Stampin'Up. Welcome back to my craft room, and in this week's crafting session with you, we are going to be talking about partial embossing. Now, I don't know if you can see on this, maybe over here. Yep, there's a good view of it. There is embossing all around, excepting for here. How did I get that? Well, that's what this tutorial is all about. And my inspiration for this technique has come from my upline team leader, Jackie Williams. I do just want to give credit to her for the inspiration. But we are going to be looking at different combinations of stamp sets and colors. So we're not going to replicate this one. I wanted to show you, and I will show you some other samples at the end, how we can take the same stamp sets and change it with different colors. This one I used crumb cake, pecan pie, and early espresso in there. So those were the colors. Oh, and misty moonlight for the blue, if you can see there, and matted on early espresso, and then obviously basic white. And this is just a little bit of the natural twine from the earthen textures that I just pulled apart. But we're not doing that one today. I want to make a feminine one. So the colors we're going to be using today, let me just get those for you, is Old Olive, Berry Burst, Sweet Sorbet. I should put it this way, that'll look better. Isn't that interesting? Let's go like that. Sweet Sorbet, Berry Burst, Old Olive, there we go, and Blackberry Bliss for the font. So I'm just going to rearrange them in the way I want to accentuate them so that I don't get myself muddled. Okie dokes. You're going to need, we'll start off straight away with the stamping. You're going to need a piece of, well, I used a piece of basic white cardstock, 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, which is the identical size to what I use for my liners. I'm going to be using, let me just open this up a little bit bigger. All right, we're going to be using some masking paper, which I've already pre-treated, 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now, if you use Post-it notes, you'll be fine. But if you use Stampin' Up's masking paper, I do suggest peeling it off and applying the sticky side onto denim jeans or calico at least 4 times before you use this technique or any masking technique. Okay, place your masking paper in the middle, and that's going to be where we're going to land up stamping a little bit later with the happy birthday. I'm just looking for my masking paper, a Post-it note, just to cover where I didn't get that one out, so just bear with me. All right, I'm just going to put this down here because we're going to start with that leaf design, and let me show you where the stamps are coming from. So they're coming from Botanical Layers. I'm using some of the layering leaves, and my sentiment is the happy birthday in the go-to greetings. So some beautiful stamping with different stamp sets. So I want to use Old Olive for this, and we'll just pop this over here. All right, inking up my stamp, and I'm just coming in one, and I'm going to do a second generation, and I'm going to just make a pattern. There's nothing, I'm not putting too much thought into it, but I am just keeping in mind that I don't want too many of these different things, so if that makes sense. So 1 2 3, I think I'm going to leave it at that because it's 3 sets, and I do like to work in odd numbers. Closing my ink pad so that I don't get ink all over myself. I now want to move on to this leaf from the layering leaves, and I'll just pop a mat underneath because it is a photopolymer, and I want to use Berry Burst. Alright, let's just get this all into the camera for you. Okay, might need this for this one. Let's see how we go. So I'm bringing this over and second and over and second, and I do want to bring in, I'm just going to bring it in down here and overlap. So 1 2 3 4 5. I might need to just bring in one more, but I want to stamp it off. Okay. We'll need some detail at the bottom. I can just sort of see down there, but we'll see how we go. Now I want to bring in these little rose buds in Sweet Sorbet. And they're nice and small, so I can get away with just bringing them in here and there and everywhere. Fill up that space. I just stamp that off and bring that in over there. It looks awfully messy at this stage. 1 2 3. Yep, that's 3. Okay. What I might do, I'm just thinking about it. No, let's just do this first. I'm just going to bring the old olive back, and picking it up with my blending brush, I'm just going to come around the edge just to soften the stamping. I'm umming and ahhing as to whether I must bring in some dottage. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I'll leave it for now, and we'll see. We can always bring it back. Now I'm just peeling back that masking paper. All right. Very carefully. Very, very carefully. And if we need to add the dottage, we can always do it at this stage. I just want to see how we look. It's looking very Christmassy. Cool. I feel like I need another one. I've got 1 2 3. I might actually just pop this back quickly. I feel like I need another one of those roses. So we'll bring those roses back in. It was over here, wasn't it? There. And 1 2 3 4, and I'll just bring it over there. All right, let's hope I've done the right thing by doing that. We will see. Let's pull this off. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Now all that I need to do, just move the mat away because I don't need that. We just need to stamp the happy birthday in Blackberry Bliss. So it's a cling stamp. It's a cling stamp. Just need to check, is it everywhere? Right, move that out of the way. Center myself. I just want to get everything nice and flat because if I make a boo-boo now, that won't be great. Center myself. I'm just holding it for a few seconds. All right, and release. Beautiful. Okay, let's just get all of the ink out of the way now. Love that. All right, now comes the fun part. Honestly, this is just so fun. What you're going to need, and this is really a good place to use your craft blade, I just used the backing of the cardstock that comes with, sometimes it comes with the papers that you buy, and I used, there's a link to these tools, and I'll have the link above for you here. I used my craft knife, which screws into the back of your Take Your Pick tool, and I cut out a piece of the cardstock, firm cardstock, and then I cut out a hole which is approximately the 1.5 to 3.5. You're going to need to keep this as your shim. You place this over your design, and I'm using the Quatrefoil embossing folder. Just make sure the side that you want up to go into your paper is the right way. So I just want to quickly get that right. Just put this in place. Okay. And then we are creating a sandwich in the cut and emboss machine. And I'll just move this in here. For my one, plate 1, 2, and then the folder, and then 3 was adequate pressure. This is entirely going to be up to you. But one thing I do want to say is don't force it through. If you're finding you can't get your embossing folder through, play around with your levels. You do not want to break your machine by doing this sort of technique. Then you're bringing that out, and let me show you. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully you can see the texture on that. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, now I'm going to mat this onto some Blackberry Bliss. What I've done with all of mine is I chose the color that I used inside. I used that as the mat, just to create a little bit of interest. So this is going to go on Blackberry Bliss, and then you can bring in the normal card base that I use, which is 5.5 by 8 and 1/4 scored at 4 1/8, and we'll be popping this on with dimensionals, and because it's a dark color, I'll be using black for this. If you don't have black, you don't have to have black. You can use white. I used white for many years before I bought myself black ones, so it's not a problem if you've only got white. And then take your pick tool just to lift up the liners. One more. Okay, placing this in place. Now all that's left is we need to put a little bit of bling, and we need to put a little bit of twine, and I just want to get my twine, so I'm just going to make a ribbon by just taking my linen thread and making a bow. Make sure the bunny ears are big enough, and I'm going to pop this on a glue dot, which comes with a free ant. He's like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. Rush this away. Okay, onto the side. Fantastic. Just play around with those ears, and I thought I would bring in a little bit of the in color dots here. I thought they really worked well, and the Moody Mauve I thought was actually a brilliant complementary color for that. So I'm just going to bring in the Moody Mauve and pop it in here. So this is like a really festive card. You can do so many different things with it. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go with this one. I think we'll stick it up there. Okay, so here we have the partially embossed stamp set. So same stamps that I used. The only one I changed up was this one because it's masculine and I wanted the rosebuds. So different colors. So that's that one. This is the one we've done today. Then this is the same concept, but I used all of the layers from Botanical Prints or Layered Botanicals. And then completely different look is this one with Lost Lagoon, Pool Party, and Copper Clay, I believe, is what I did the complementary colors. Oh, and Petal Pink. That Petal Pink always looks like orange to me. Am I the only one? So you've got that, you've got that, you've got that combination, and then the one we did today. Lots of combos, a very quick and easy card to make that didn't take me a lot of time, and you can whip up so many different combinations. So I hope you have been inspired, and remember, each week I come to you with different tips and techniques. If you haven't yet subscribed to my newsletter, click on the link below. You get a free tutorial when you do. And I am looking forward to seeing you back next week. And remember, until we meet again, to step, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye!